One sunny summer day, 7 lucky Sims found themselves basking in the beauty of the Chateau of the Lost Rose, each of them having won a lucky lottery for an all-inclusive resort vacation at this historic establishment. Sure, none of the 7 Sims could recall ever having entered such a lottery, and not one of them had ever heard of the Chateau of the Lost Rose, but who could refuse such an offer into the lap of luxury? The first day passed in peaceful delight among the gardens full of blossoming flowers. Dining amid the elegant atmosphere of the formal dining rooms. Or indulging in the relaxing luxury that seemed perfectly suited to their every whim. Indeed, each of the 7 Sims considered themselves quite lucky and went to bed that first night full of excitement about what awaited them next. So imagine their surprise when shortly before midnight, a young man with bright red hair burst into the front doors and began screaming warnings of curses and doom. Only to have the clock strike midnight and everything transform. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Haunted Manor Challenge, where we are going to be celebrating the arrival of the paranormal into Sims 4 with hopefully a very memorable experience. And we're actually going to have Griffin Greene be our medium as we dive into the paranormal pack here. And a lot of you guys may not know Griffin, but he is actually currently a toddler in our Greene family legacy, my long-running legacy that has spanned ever since the beginning of The Sims 4 to now. And he's a toddler in that world, but we're going to play in a slightly alternate reality future setting where Griffin has actually grown up and he has been following the spooky familiarity of ghosts and things that go bump in the night ever since he was tiny, and he would run around as a toddler and try to hit his great aunt Allison, who was a ghost. And that doesn't work. You can't exactly hit a ghost. But he was obsessed with ghosts ever since then, and now has grown up just in time to enjoy being trapped in a haunted mansion, which I think is going to be a really fun and special experience. So the Haunted Manor Challenge is actually something that I have made up. It's kind of a riff off of the Asylum Challenge, except in this case, oh dear, we just got thrown off the cliff. Note to self, don't end up diving into the water that way. Except in this case, the Haunted Manor is going to replace the Asylum, and we are going to have the Sims be spooked, basically. We have the lot set so that we can hopefully have lots and lots of spooky experiences as a haunted house residential type, which means that we might have ghostly assistant from Gudri the Ghost. He's quite the charmer. Specters might float around at night. They range from friendly to hostile. Haunted treasures may end up showing up from the specters. There's going to be paranormal activity. Things get weird around here, especially at night. Your Sims will definitely take notice. Accursed objects are going to be popping up all over the place. The house itself is alive, which we'll be talking about more in just a second. And for being brave here, the longer we end up staying here and staying alive, the more that the reward store points will be given to our Sims. And hopefully, if we manage to do a good enough job of facing whatever mysterious paranormal problems lie in our future, we will actually be able to become a paranormal investigator, which is definitely in Griffin's future. The Chateau des Roses Perdues, which I probably destroyed the Chateau of the Lost Rose in French there, sorry about that. Japanese is more my strong point. But the Chateau of the Lost Rose was a beautiful place where, as you guys saw in the intro, the guests were invited to enjoy a special like all-inclusive resort vacation. And as soon as the clock struck midnight of the first night, it transformed into this place. The gates actually ended up locking closed behind them, and they can't get the gates open. There's a force that seems to be pushing them back from around all of the edges, and our Sims basically will not be able to leave this property until 13 nights have passed, and the clock will actually strike midnight on the 13th night, and that is when we will be able to be set free. And until then, we are going to be relying on Griffin to keep everyone alive, and also to hopefully keep them very safe and work on that medium skill. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to be quite a bit of a challenge for many reasons, one of which are the lot traits for this lot. It is a cursed lot where creepy crawlies might emerge, and we might actually have a whole lot of wandering ghosts end up showing up to cause even more chaos and even more hecticness on top of the specters that are going to be around, and on top of the fact that the house is alive. So every single night when the clock strikes midnight, as part of our Haunted Manor challenge, the manor itself will be changing. So when it hits midnight, we will actually be rolling a randomizer to see which of all of the deaths available in The Sims 4 will become more of a risk in the chateau. Not everything about the chateau has actually changed into the creepy and crawly bits inside. Some of it still looks like the beautiful chateau that everyone showed up to enjoy for their vacation. But as the days go by, as the challenge progresses, as the different members of our trapped little family that we've got here show us their own unique personality twist and tales, the rooms will be changing. So at midnight, the randomizer will roll, and we will pick a room, and I will transform it to be more applicable to the Sims 4 death that was chosen. So it might be a room that suddenly holds a cow plant. It might be a room full of nothing but Murphy beds. We might have to install an elevator so that Sims might have a chance of falling to their death within. It might be a room that happens to be full of nothing but fireplaces and hay bales and rugs. And then we'll have to cross our fingers that hopefully none of the Sims will get involved in anything too dangerous, because I cannot control anyone in this whole big group other than Griffin. So that is going to be his big challenge. Keep everybody alive for 13 days and nights. Try to take care of whatever spooky specters show up. Work on his medium skill, and basically just try to endure all of that, and maybe work on a little bit of his mischief skill while he is at it, because why not? I thought it'd be interesting to have him try to complete the Chief of Mischief skill while we're in here. But there we go. So I'll draft up into a Google document at some point the basic rules of the challenge. Basically, can only control Griffin, can't leave the lot. The gate is locked, so absolutely nobody can leave. We have to change one of the rooms in the chateau, because some of them look nice and normal after the clock struck midnight and just like pleasant places to be. And then others of the rooms transformed in the middle of the night to be extremely terrifying and different. And every day, the one more room will change, and it will be towards whatever death risk we rolled. So there's that. Can't control anyone else. Griffin's going to work on his medium skill. Going to see what the ghost and ghouls have to offer. The house itself is alive. Can't leave. And that's about it. So all right, let's go ahead, and Griffin, he needs to perform 10 mean or mischievous interactions if he wants to. But basically, Griffin just woke up, and he's been dealing with ghosts ever since he was quite young. So he knows what's going on here. He knows there is something afoot. And now he knows he's got to figure out where exactly the root of this malignant magic happens to be. So Griffin's going to give himself a little bit of a pep talk over here. For his traits right now, he is actually erratic, He is self-assured, he is adventurous, and he is dastardly because he's had a very interesting childhood. Like if you grow up as a toddler who just wants to be able to punch ghost in the face, then eventually you might be considered to be a little bit self-assured, maybe a little bit adventurous, and a little bit erratic. And the erratic trait is because those Sims talk to themselves and have unpredictable emotions. And usually he's talking to Ghost, but other people don't know that. And so they just think that he's a little erratic, but usually he's talking to Ghost and trying to work with them. But all right, so that's Griffin, and I'll go ahead and really quickly introduce you guys to some of the other characters who are here. All of these Sims were actually submitted by our amazing patrons who make all of our adventures possible over on our Patreon Discord. So our patrons and our Twitch subscribers pop into our Discord and have put these guys together. Also, if there's a TV, I will be finding it and potentially deleting it. We'll have to see. Like, every midnight something different might happen in the house, so I might get rid of like all of the electronics, and the house's history will stay the same. And then if we have future like haunted manor challenges, we'll use this place and we'll add to even more of the changes that have happened in here in the future. But while Griffin explores around, I'll introduce you guys to all of the amazing Sims that were sent in by our patrons, starting with Jarl. And Jarl seems to be having a great time over here browsing some books. But Jarl is a really playful, very kind of rough and tough guy who likes to brawl. And he was actually sent in. Gosh, he has no shoes. Maybe he doesn't like shoes. But he is an evil genius who is a super green thumb, family-oriented, observant, marketable, creative visionary, speed cleaner, shameless, great kisser, carefree, gym rat, mentor, beguiling, a true master from the vampire aspiration. So Jarl's gonna be a vampire? Oh, he is a vampire! I didn't know that because I just tossed him into the house. So this is the first time we're getting to know all of the people who are in here. How am I gonna feed a vampire? This is a little concerning because Griffin needs to make sure that everybody is taken care of. And then we also have Jordan. Jordan's having a bit of a day. I accidentally, oh, and that's the other rule for our challenge. All of the Sims, except for Griffin, will have a main emotion that they feel. So I went ahead and used the MC Commander mod to grant each of the Sims a main master controller emotion that they will always be feeling and that will always direct them under all of their other moodlets. And for Jarl here, that means that he's always going to be somewhat playful compared to any of his other feelings. He is just a very playful Sim. And hopefully by leaving, I did that so that our Sims will never be just default happy all of the time while they're in a freaking like living, breathing haunted house. No, 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 no. We want them to go ahead and have a lot more personality than that. So each of them, not only can I not control them, but each of them will also be directed around by the moods that they're in, and those moods will be determined by what our patrons picked as their master mood. For Jarl, that's being playful, and here for Jordan, that's actually being angry. However, I misclicked when I was assigning Jordan his master emotion, and I accidentally gave him the possessed emotion, which sounds pretty perfect actually. So Jordan woke up this morning possessed, and I'm going to make a small random chance that that could happen with our Sims. And among the many things that might happen when the clock strikes midnight in this house is that some of the mother plant spores might show up in the yard, and that could make life very interesting. But I accidentally made him possessed. Normally, this very anxious guy who can come across as somewhat mean to people and is a big scaredy cat, who really, he wants to get along with everybody so he can open a eco-friendly restaurant, which I thought was really cute. However, his fear that comes out through his social anxiety really makes him come off as super angry to people instead. So he is actually over here currently possessed. Sucks to be him at the moment, but he's just gonna have to ride that out for the next 22 hours. So that is Jordan. Let's check him out. So he wants to be a master chef. His traits, he's just got a few little skills here and there. And then when it comes to Jarl, he's got a lot of charisma, fitness, gardening, handiness, logic, mischief. Vampire lore is maxed out too. Oh my goodness. So he's got a whole bunch of skills that he could be using over here too. And then we've also got right over here Azumi. So Azumi was actually supposed to go on an adventure to our snowy sled dogs, but she ended up getting caught up in the curse and pulled into the haunted manor instead. And Azumi is very focused. She wanted to spend some time maybe being able to find a family, a new life, maybe a partner in not San Myshuno, but in Mount Komaribi, and instead she got yanked into this curse. So she really wants to get out of here and is very focused on trying to make the most of this opportunity so that she can hopefully move on. Let's see. Oh, she researched candle making and near misery. She's evil? So she's actually an evil proper dog lover who has the animal affection trait and wants to befriend animals, which is hilarious. Her skills were also randomized, so she's actually a great actress who's very good at charisma, fitness. Wow, I hope nobody gets into fights in here. Media production. Oh, she's actually got really high medium skill. That's really cool. She's also like a master mischief skill. We better watch out for her. She might be a little bit of trouble, guys. I'm just saying. And she knows a ton about vampire lore too. Oh boy, I'm a little nervous about her. But that's Azumi. My goodness. So she was supposed to go to Snowy Sled Dogs, but got yoinked in here. And then right over here, we actually have Rana McDale, who is furious. She's just always constantly angry and also feeling a little bit dazed from the cursed lot trait, giving a bit of voodoo to this place. And she actually is a set of a duo. We have Rana McDale and then her sister, Ella McDale, who both happen to be here right now. And she, let's check her out, is a loner who is already hot-headed, a bit of a bookworm. She's an aficionado from her juice fizzing skill. She's a quick learner. She's really good at archaeology and baking, comedy, DJ mixing, gambling. Since when has gambling been a skill? I have no idea how I got that gambling trait. I'm gonna have to look into that. She's good at juice fizzing. She's also, wow, there's a lot of high medium skill, so I wonder if that's how they got caught by the curse. Mixology, research and debate, skiing are all things that she's really good into. Maybe she's really good at debate because she's hot-headed and likes to fight. She also is a Renaissance sim who wants to spend a lot of time perusing the library. And then her sister over here, and then we've got her sister Ella McDale, who wait, why do you who's a vampire as well? Oh dear, that makes two vampires at least. Okay, that makes me a little nervous. Thirst, like who are they going to prey on? I can't control them, so that's going to be a little bit of an interesting situation. But her sister is a lazy, romantic, domestic, self-assured vampire who wants to have a vampire family. Oh, okay, we're gonna have to like keep an eye on her. She might be a little bit of a handful, especially because her default emotion is flirty, and she's also feeling a little bit of pain from the voodoo of this cursed lot. And then we have got Rube Finch, who's feeling extremely, oh, another vampire. I didn't even check. I just downloaded like the Sims that our patrons made and threw them in, and this is going to be quite the handful, it seems. But Rube Finch over here is actually very sad because that is her master emotion. And she is a gloomy, loves the outdoors, art lover who's domestic and really wants to be a super parent. So she really wants to become a parent. Oh my gosh, that's quite the mix that we've got here. She's really good at bowling, canning, logic. She's also got maxed out medium skill. Maybe that's why they got caught up in this. Pet training, rock climbing. Oh boy. Okay, this is getting really interesting. And then right down here, we have got another new sim who looks a little bit nervous to be included in all of this. But this is Lani Malvaron, who is from the Solani Islands, and she was leaving the islands in the hopes of finding true love. She's actually really cool looking, so I wouldn't mind, since she actually is looking for a soulmate, maybe trying that out. I think that could be a little bit cute with Griffin. We'll have to see. But, oh, she's a mermaid! Wow, we have so many like occult Sims in this. This is going to be quite the event for Griffin to meet so many occult Sims. Oh my gosh. But she is alluring, clumsy, loves the outdoor, and a music lover who's good at bowling, gourmet cooking, media production, parenting, pet training, photography, Salvadoranian culture. Oh my gosh. So she's going to be a lot of fun to work with, I think. And I think, yep, that's everybody. All right, so those are all of the Sims that we are going to be working with, and this, just really quickly, is an overview of the Haunted Mansion. The last of the rules I'm kind of cobbling together as we go through is that we only have 100 simoleons, so even though I do not control any of the other Sims, if they spend too much time like making drinks or making food and doing things that basically cost us money, that's going to cause a little bit of a problem for us, and I'm actually going to have Griffin go around and try to find ways of making money somewhere inside of the house. We can even go through, and if we have to, we can sell the books inside of the bookshelf, like if we're really, really desperate to try to make the food stretch by. With so many vampires, I'm not sure how much food we might need. If we really need to, I'll even set a pool where he can do a little bit of fishing, because he's going to have to try to be stuck on this cursed lot, be able to feed everybody, be able to take care of all of them, protect them from whatever happens while the living house changes underneath them every midnight. And this is going to be a lot of fun, I think. A quick tour of the house, which I downloaded off the gallery. It is just the Chateau of Windenburg, and I'll try to find the creator of it in a little bit to share with you guys. But on the very top of the house, I have revamped it to try to look spooky, but the original creator is the one who made the Chateau of Windenburg 64 by 64 lot. Absolutely beautiful on the gallery. I really freaking love it. I changed quite a bit about it to make it look so spooky, but as you guys saw in the intro, it used to look a lot more peaceful. And it has a greenhouse on the top, a beautiful greenhouse with a grow plant and some other plants in here that mostly look like flowers. Oh, there's a huckleberry bush and a green pea bush. Good, in case we need to be able to eat something. It also has a Patchy up here, so I guess we could try to befriend Patchy and then get seeds from him and sell the seeds to like turn into food if we get really desperate. We could try to like paint a painting, but Griffin doesn't have any skills. We're saying he had some sort of curse of amnesia, so he doesn't really remember anything other than a little bit of singing skill, since really he went straight from toddler to adult for the sake of this challenge. And whatever skills and things he gains during the times that we'll run the Manor challenge, I'll try to give him in his alternate universe, the Greene Legacy timeline we're doing. I'll try to give him a little perk and like reward for all the work he's doing. But downstairs we have a couple of the bedrooms. Let's go ahead and turn on all of the lights up here. Very lovely. But we have a couple bedrooms that look totally normal for now, but it's just a matter of time before the curse sinks its way into the floors and up the walls and changes everything in here. Maybe transforms these beautiful beds into Murphy beds for all we know. We have a big, beautiful hallway with the stairway that leads up to the gorgeous greenhouse and this big, lots and lots of room up here for everybody to just relax and enjoy. And then downstairs, we've got like more bedrooms up here. We've got several bathrooms. We've got another bedroom right over here. Plenty of space for everybody to kind of move around, chit-chat a little bit. Mirrors all over the place for the vampires to basically not show up in. More bedrooms. I might have to get rid of the computers. As the days go by, we'll probably say like more and more of the electronic technology starts breaking and the rooms will transform. Kind of like think Luigi's Mansion. We'll be unlocking new rooms, Luigi's Mansion style. Some of the beds might disappear. They might become overrun with like plants, or they might become very thematic. That's going to be a lot of fun to work with. So plenty of bedrooms right now for everyone to sleep in, for now at least. And on the first floor, we have this amazing entryway with a rather peculiar picture of a certain famous medium that showed up when the clock struck midnight last night. We've got some beautiful archways with lots of mirrors that a lot of the members of this group apparently are not going to be showing up in. Plenty of candles. But this is nothing like what it looked like in the morning. We've got a sad clown down a narrow little hallway that on the one side leads to a charming room full of sitting areas and a fireplace that totally is not too close to those plants and possibly going to make it catch fire. And then we have got a whole bunch of beautiful little nooks and crannies to sit in over here, chess tables, another fireplace to potentially catch fire. We've got a gorgeous dining room on this side. Plenty of room for everybody to sit down and enjoy a meal, you know, for any of those who will actually eat food. And then over here, we've got a really interesting area where we have got a big bar, like a big bar area that's probably going to change a lot as the days go by. This is a crystal ball, but it's just a decorative one that I had from custom content. But it is a good hint of what Griffin is going to need to start searching for. A little place to paint on the back balcony. We'll have to see if anyone gets into that. Over here, we've got some sitting rooms, a little bit of a library tucked to the side, an office shoved into the corner here. Very interesting indeed. Ooh, I really need to see, Salvadoradian culture is something Griffin's going to be really into. He's going to be raiding so many of those ruins when he grows up. And then we have also got, yeah, more things. There's a little spot to grab some drinks if you really want to like drink us out of house and home when we only have 100 simoleons. We have got more books to read. And then one of my favorite things, a little bathroom over here. One of my favorite things is there's a little stairway in the dining room that goes down to the kitchen. Isn't that so cool? So there is a little stairway that comes down here into the kitchen, which I think is absolutely precious. There's actually a a cupcake and a pastry machine over here. Tons and tons of food that people can possibly use. There's like a fridge, so a lot of nice stuff in here. We'll have to see if they end up using it. If too many of the Sims end up making a lot of like drinks, they could just drink us out of house and home, so we'll have to watch out for that. There's a party room that some of the Sims might use to go dancing, do a little bit of DJ work, another bar. And then there's the creepy hallway. Then there's places where the house has already manifested some of its curse, like this long creepy hallway that on the right over here will lead you to this very creepy looking pool. I don't know if you would want to go swimming in here. It looks really amazing, but I would still be extremely nervous about going and diving into these waters. But there is a place where you can go ahead, dive in, swim around if you want, if you dare. There's also a sauna because death by sauna is one of the things in The Sims 4, so we have to make that death possibility available. A couple little bathrooms. We've got a gym in case you want to work yourself to death. Then we have got a playing room where there's like a massage table, there's things to play with, games. You know, very adorable little cow plant, which I freaking love. Oh, the cow plant terrarium. Housed in a petite terrarium, this compact cow plant can be your new best friend, provided you keep it well fed. Normal varieties of cow plants are large enough to swallow a Sim whole, but this mini variety thankfully does not have that big of an appetite. Still, it's best not to tempt fate. Avoid tapping on the glass. A miniature stature does not equate a miniature attitude. That's adorable. I wish you could interact with them, but alas, you can't. You can give them a name, though. We've got creepy paintings. We'll have to see. A lot of the paranormal pieces have been started showing up and scattered around the house. Then this room. This was actually an accident. I was just looking at this in the gallery and going, huh, that'd be really cool if there was a spot to put it on that house. And then I accidentally placed the room down and I couldn't undo it. And we just ran with it. So then this is a really chaotic paranormal room that has been plopped down that is full of flowers and fungi and a whole bunch of plants that hopefully will feed us if we get really desperate enough. A cursed mirror that has a ghost popping out of it, which I think is pretty amazing. There's actually a whole bunch of ghost gnomes in here. Those guys might start spreading through the house and taking their little cursed seeds with them. So we might see more of these places pop up everywhere as the curse continues to spread. And speaking of the curse spreading, yeah, there's more rooms to this place. Downstairs, everything kind of looks normal at first glance. There's a gigantic wine cellar, which I think is kind of amazing. I really love this wine cellar. There's even a whole bunch of mushrooms down here that we might tend to in the hopes that, you know, we can get some food from them. There is actually a laundry room. Just to make my life extremely difficult since I can only control one sim, and if everybody has dirty laundry and piles of dirty laundry everywhere, it's going to drive me mad, but it's there just to add to the difficulty. And if you go past the cobwebs and down another set of stairs, that's where you finally realize things aren't really normal here. No, no. Things things are not really normal here at all. Yes. Yes, interesting. Mm-hmm. That's fine. Just surrounded by skeletons. I didn't even add this. This was just waiting for us when we plunked down the chateau, and I was like, oh, maybe this is the perfect place for some paranormal hijinks, because here we go. Here we go. Skeletons lining the way. You go through a very creepy gate and suddenly find yourselves in this room, my friends, which has the medium table where we can actually start working with and dispelling the spirits. It has a gigantic old rug. It has a pipe organ over here. There's a whole bunch of different coffins that the vampires might really enjoy, including a grand coffin right over here, just waiting for anybody to come climb inside of it. Then there's also a giant cauldron. Just a giant cauldron right over here. We could cook some mac and cheese. Maybe look into dabbling in potions at some point. That might really help us in the future and be quite fun, actually. But this is basically the creepy room that Griffin is going to be going straight to next time to start working on figuring out just how volatile are the cursed spirits of this place. I love this. And there's also this little pool house, as you guys saw. It looks totally normal for now, but it's just a matter of time before it transforms into something absolutely terrifying. We won't be able to interact with any of the Sims who are outside of the lot. We will just have to do our best to try to survive with the Sims who are on the lot. Like, even these peaceful little patios will probably be transformed into something spooky as the days go by. There might be cow plants. We might have like weather that just ends up being nothing but lightning storms for a day in case Sims might have a chance of being hit by lightning. There's a lot of stuff that could possibly go wrong, but I'm really excited because this is going to be so much fun to see what the paranormal pack has to offer and to see if we can manage to survive 13 days and nights here in the Haunted Manor. But alright guys, introducing you to all of the characters and the concept actually took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but it's a massive project and I'm very excited that this is a living house, so it's going to be transformed and changed on us and very different than what we expect from day to day. So if you guys could, do please leave a like for our Haunted Manor challenge. Now that we've got it all set up, next time we're diving straight in to go ahead and see what it has to offer. Once the specters start spooking, the vampires start getting hungry, and Griffin starts trying to commune with the dead. If you would like to join us on this and literally thousands more adventures, do please consider subscribing. But most importantly, my friends, stay curious, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!